Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Shamsul. We are got shot back again with our regular guest and partner, my good friend, Syed Akbar.
Good morning.
Today, we are going to be having a conversation on something a lot more serious than usual. And we're going to deep dive on this topic, which is the recent High Court decision on the disappearance and forced abduction of Pastor Koh and Amri Che Mat. Yeah. This extrajudicial abduction of the individuals is a very black day in the history of Malaysia. I think with that, I want to go straight to Syed. And Syed, can you open up on the subject for us?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's a very sensitive topic, very touchy. But first of all, I'd like to express sympathies to the family of Pastor Koh and Amri Che Mat on this unfortunate event that has happened in our country. It was something that should never have happened, but it has. This thing happened in 2016-2017. That's 5 governments ago.
5 governments ago.
5 governments ago.
Yeah.
It is not. It is not the. It is not the doing or the any kind of liability on this present government, because this happened in 2016-2017. But it has taken this long for the High Court to come out with a decision. And court decisions are legally binding. And in this case, we have to look at the decision, what the court actually decided, what the judge actually said. So it is now binding. It is by law. It is binding on the government, on the police, and whoever is involved. So this is a sea change from what happened before. Because if you recall, after this incident happened, especially the abduction of Pastor Koh, it was done in broad daylight, and there was CCTV recording of his abduction,
yes,
which went viral. He was abducted in 2017 February, I think, and within a short time, that CCTV recording went viral, and the case, it really, everybody was talking about it, and then which led to our Human Rights Commission, Suhakam,
right,
convening an inquiry, which they did. And they completed their inquiry, I believe, 2019 or something, and they came out with their report. But sadly, that's the nature of things. So Hakam does not have legal standing, in the sense that their decisions are not legally binding on anyone. It's just a Human Rights Commission. So sadly, nothing much came out of the Suhakam inquiry vis-a-vis solving this issue. Because until today, Pastor Koh and Amri Che Mat are still, they're missing. There was another task force appointed to also study this matter. The task force also came out with their report. There was a government task force, but the report was classified as confidential. It was not released to anyone, especially it was not released to the family of the victims, who are also victims. Unfortunately, the family of the disappeared people had to go to court to get their hands on the report of the special task force, and the court decided in their favor in August 2024, which is last year, following which that report by the special task force, I believe, was an input into the legal case taken up by the family of Pastor Koh and Amri Che Mat, which has led to this High Court decision. So the High Court has ruled now the judge, Dato Justice Su Tiang Ju,
Yes.
basically he has said that the main points, he has said that the government and police are liable for the abduction, disappearance of Raymond Koh and Amri Che Mat. He also said that this is interesting, or this is critical. He said that the abductions were found to involve one or more serving or former police officers acting in an organized unit or state capacity. I'm reading media reports from Channel News Asia, which was reported. And the court awarded compensation for both the family of Pastor Koh and Amri Che Mat. The total amount adds up to 40 million ringgit. And the judge said something else which is very relevant, and it's outstanding in the sense that he has awarded compensation of 10,000 ringgit per day for every single day that Pastor Koh is not returned to his family. So this is running at 10,000 ringgit a day. The court decision was on 5th of November. Today is the 12th.
Yeah.
So that's
13.
70 or 80,000 ringgit already.
Yeah.
And it's piling up at 10,000 ringgit a day. So the judge has now, his decision has now created another loose end, a very expensive loose end, which is borne by the government.
Born by the taxpayers.
At the rate of 10,000 ringgit a day, borne by the taxpayer.
Yeah.
So this is a huge burden on all of us, but more importantly, it is a huge task now being put on the government's shoulders, because the longer this thing is not resolved, the clock is running at 10,000 ringgit a day. It is going to become a source of huge embarrassment if this matter is not resolved, which is that Pastor Koh be returned to his family. Be returned to his family means in whatever condition that he is found, whether he is, proof of life, or he is alive or he's not alive, that we do not know. But he has to be returned to the family. So this is what the decision of the court has now hoisted upon the government. And the government is today's government. Although this thing happened 5 governments ago, it is the present government which carries this new ruling by the court, and they are bound by it. I'm happy to have I'm happy with the statement made by the Minister of Home Affairs today, YB Saifuddin Nasution. I think he made quite a positive statement in the media. I heard him speaking, and he said that he did say that this is a legacy issue which he has inherited from previous governments. He was not the Minister of Home Affairs when these things happened, but he has inherited this. Is a legacy issue. But he has said, he said it publicly, that the Ministry of Home Affairs will act as per the court's decision. So I think that was a good statement, a positive statement. He will act on the High Court's decision and return Pastor Koh to his family. And I think that also will include the case of Amri Che Mat. So that is a positive statement. And I hope they will carry it through ASAP.
I just want a quick point of clarification, right? I mean, just for those who don't, Pastor Koh is obviously Christian. In our Muslim Sunni majority country, Amri Che Mat, on the other hand, is
Shia.
Is apparently a Shia Muslim, right? So that puts the religious spin as well with respect to this disappearance. That is very disconcerting for all Malaysians. I repeat your condolences to the family. It's a
Our sympathies. Yeah.
Yeah, and our sympathies on their missing their their husband,
Father.
their father. I mean, this is something in a democratic country that should never ever have happened. And going by the judiciary decision that this is a state action. This is legal, This is something that the court itself has made a conclusion upon, that this is something that the government now must put right because of the government. Be it it's 5 government ago, the government of the day must put this right, and this should never happen again. So, I mean, the Home Minister has said that he is going to implement this decision. But before I go there, why do you think this abduction, why
it happened?
Why it happened?
Somebody-
And why this can never happen again? If we look at this situation now with this court decision, how do we make sure? How does this not happen again?
There are a couple of reasons that I can surmise, why this thing happened. There have been suggestions that rogue elements were involved behind this incident. Rogue elements in whichever arm of the government that did this 9 years ago. But I think it is. It's not just a case of rogue elements. There is a saying. You can fool some people
Some of the time.
all the time. You can fool all the people some of the time, but you cannot fool all the people all the time. This was a case of you can fool all the people some of the time, but this was a case of a system. The entire system can go wrong some of the time. Some part of the system can go wrong all the time, like some trains that don't run too well, and or some aspects of religious administration. But the entire system cannot go wrong all the time.
Yeah.
But here is I think it's like the system went down for a little part of the time. This is what happened. It is not just rogue elements, but there seems to be a systemic breakdown in what happened. Why did it happen? This is speculation. But from the religious point of view, since you raised the religious angle, some people do have strong feelings about religious, what they believe as religious law or religious ruling, whereby, for example, it is illegal for Muslims to change their religion in this country. If you change your religion from Islam to another religion, it is technically it is illegal. You can be jailed. You can be punished. And it is also not allowed for non-Muslims to preach their religion to Muslims. So you cannot, if you are a Christian or a Buddhist or a Hindu or any other religion, it is against the law, I think, for you to preach your religion to Muslims and convert them. That is not allowed. So in the case of Pastor Koh, there was talk in the social media, and people were talking about it, that he was a Christian pastor, and that perhaps his church was involved in activity that reached out to Muslims. This is debatable. It's arguable, but I think that was the feeling at the time. And then in the case of Amri Che Mat, he was said to be a Shia. Again, the Shia faith is not recognized by the majority Muslim
Religious authority
that we have in this country, which is the Sunni, Sunnah wal Jama'ah.
Yeah.
So somebody disliked the activities of these two people to the extent that they were able to influence this or or this cause of action came arose out of that kind of dislike and feeling of insecurity, that these people were threatening the entire structure of religion in this country, Islamic religion. There was a feeling that maybe these people were a threat. Unfortunately, they thought that the solution would be this
to disappear these persons.
Abduction. Yes, so this is what we can surmise. This is not proven in a court of law, but I think this is what everybody was talking about, and they're still talking about it. So it happened. All right, it happened, and then of course it is a wrong thing to have been done by anyone. And today we have a court decision. So the court decision basically has brought us back to the rule of law, because what has happened, the abduction and disappearance of these people was outside the rule of law. It basically became, what they call frontier justice.
Yep.
Cowboy justice.
Yep.
Extrajudicial abduction and all that. It was outside the system of law of the country. So this High Court decision, to me, and for all Malaysians, is extremely important, because it establishes that our country still is a country that is ruled by law. We have law and order in this country. We can't just go around doing this wild stuff on your own and then expect that you will not be held accountable. And when it happened, it was a major dent, a huge dent and a damage to our system of law and order in the country. So I'm very glad that the High Court has made this decision now. It puts us back as a proper. We are a civilized country. We have civilized behavior.
Well, yeah.
And so this is critical to me.
Yeah.
This High Court decision is absolutely critical. We are back on track, and I hope, I feel that this thing should not happen again in this country. It should not.
Just to add to that point, actually, I mean, I've been probably coming to more than 35 years plus in business, and more than half of that, actually, I do reach out and do business with international markets, right? And one of the things that actually make Malaysia very attractive and special in practically this region is because we are quite recognized as having a country with very strong rule of law. We are civilized. We have a structure. We are very systematic. I mean, what we adopted as part of the Commonwealth, I think we stand out with Singapore as being a very rule of law based nation. It's not just a point of pride as a Malaysian, but also a point of pride as a businessman. When I talk to investors and I talk to my business partners, and they know, and that's why we get investments, right? So, but from the point of view of us as citizens, as you rightly put, you cannot have this going on at all. I mean, this is not just one too many. This is just two too many. Even when we compare to like Argentina, which in the 70s and 80s had 30,000 people go missing because they were against the government of some sort, this is something we cannot have ever in this country. This is, I'm a bit impassionate about this, as you can see, so how do you think this will impact sentiments of voters? Sentiments, I mean, putting aside, not really putting aside, I mean, yes, it's the family is so deeply affected, and we sympathize with them, and actually we really, to be honest, I feel like you cry with them, But us as citizens and for voters, right? we need to have this nip in the bud, not just from never happening again, but systemically. I think the government of the day and anybody who wants to hold government must show to the people that this will never ever happen again.
I'm glad that you mentioned Argentina, because Argentina is famous, very famous. I think that was during the dictatorship of the military in the 70s and 80s in Argentina, and yes, they had this massive cases of people being abducted, and basically they were disappeared. They never found alive again. Many of the cases were not resolved until today. And not only Argentina, these are the tyrannical regimes, the dictatorships and all that, who somehow feel that the sun will never set on their power. Argentina was not the only one. Today, the same thing is happening in Pakistan, for example, where you have these insurgencies, the Baluchistan people and all that. And it is a fairly regular occurrence that people disappear, these insurgents or rebels or people who are deemed to be opposed to the government. They are abducted in the middle of the night, and then they are found shot and murdered and discarded by the roadside. These things are happening. So this is the behavior of tyrannical regimes, where people think that they can get away with wrongdoing. The regime, the authorities who are in power. This behavior is characteristic of an attitude that we are invincible. We will not be held accountable. Interesting that you raised a question about the voters, because the abduction happened in 2016 and 2017, and it became a controversy. I think within a few months, the entire country was talking about it. That CCTV recording of Pastor Koh's abduction, it went viral. Everybody, I think millions of people saw that, and that was in 2017. And remember, in 2018, we had that election where the government lost.
Yes.
On May the 9th, the government of 61 years or 63 years lost. They lost political power for the first time. And that was a major earthquake. And 3 days after the outcome of that election, on May the 12th, 2018, one of the police officers was involved in this case. I think he panicked, and he went to see the wife of Amri Che Mat. This has come out in the Sohakam hearing as well as in the court case. And he sort of told her what has happened to her husband, and he gave a lot of information which was presented, I think, in the Sohakam inquiry and also in the court. So basically the police guy panicked because the political power had changed. The government had lost the election, and a new government had come in, and so they panicked. And true enough, the new government that came in under Dr. Mahathir, they are the ones who sort of gave the green light for the Sohakam inquiry and also the task force. But unfortunately, it didn't go much beyond that. But until now, the decision by the High Court. So now it is a formal legal decision by the High Court, which has to be upheld under law, which has to be obeyed by all parties who are involved, largely government and the police. So it has taken years, but nevertheless, we have come this far, proving that we are not Argentina. We're not really.
Thankfully.
We are not Argentina. We're not Argentina. We're not Pakistan. We are Malaysia. We are a democracy. We have law, order. We have systems in place. We are a decent society. We don't condone this kind of things. Which is why now this is attracting so much negative attention for those who are involved in it, the perpetrators. So now I suppose they have to cover their faces. But importantly, I hope it will not happen again. I have a feeling that it will not happen again because the whole country basically was upset about this. And let me reiterate, yes, the government lost the elections in 2018. This was not the sole reason. There were other things going on. I think the government would have lost anyway. But I have no doubts that this event, which happened, the abduction of Amri Che Mat and Pastor Koh, 2017 Pastor Koh, and then the election was following year. I seriously believe that there was a lot of bitterness in the community at the time. It is not just non-Muslims who were upset with this, what happened. I think even Muslims and Malays, many of them didn't like it. I didn't like it. I'm sure you didn't like it.
Oh, I was really upset about it.
So you see, decent people, people who are decent, who have some sense of morality, we will not accept all this.
Yeah.
So I think this also contributed to the huge loss that the government suffered in 2018. Meaning, what you said just now, you behave like this, it costs you votes because we are a democracy.
Yeah.
As I said, we are not Argentina.
Well, let me put it very clearly. Actually, for the first time, I voted the other way.
So all this adds up,
Yeah.
And then you see, the new government took over. Dr. Mahathir became Prime Minister, and the commission, Human Rights Commission's inquiry, Suhakam's inquiry was started, and then they came out with a report, and the special task force was set up, and they came out with a report that went on into 2019, 2020, I think. Then nothing was done. Of course, Dr. Mahathir was replaced, and two other prime ministers came up. And 2022 again, the government they lost the elections. Basically, everybody lost the elections. Nobody won. It was hung parliament. Again, I think issues like this were overhanging. People were not happy. Why can't we resolve issues like this? Why is it still dragging until today? It's still dragging. The story is not over yet. We're going to discuss this shortly.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it had a big cost on the government in terms of votes in 2018. 2017 was Pastor Koh's abduction. The whole year the story was hot. Everybody was talking about it. And 2018 they went into general elections and they lost. They would have lost. I think they would have lost, but they lost big. I'm sure this event also contributed to their huge loss. Perhaps hundreds of thousands of votes because of this alone. So there is a political cost. You behave like this, you can get kicked out. Because we are not Argentina. We are not Argentina. We are not Pakistan. We are not Afghanistan. We are not a Stan country.
We are not a banana republic.
No,
let's put it this way.
At least the people are not.
Yeah.
I don't know about the politicians, but the general people, the people on the ground, people like you, me, everybody else, we're just normal, ordinary people. We don't like all this kind of behavior, and it costs them votes at the polls. That's what has happened. So if they want to continue this kind of behavior, or whoever is thinking of contemplating this kind of behavior, be prepared to suffer the cost.
Well,
you'll get kicked out.
I have concerns about the implementation. I mean, in terms of the implementing, I mean, of course, the Home Minister has said all the right things, right? That it will be that the court judgment is going to be implemented, which then I would think that I would expect the government not to appeal this decision. That's one part. The second part is we've had another case actually before, which is the abduction of the children of the Hindu mother, which is Indra
Gandhi.
Right. That decision was like, I don't know how many years ago. And the police, for whatever reason, has not seemed to be able to return the children in accordance to the judgment of the court. So I'm not very to say that I'm confident about the implementation of this court decision to be carried out is another part of my concern as a citizen.
Yeah, I think they should play it up, but Indira Gandhi, of course, it's an Indian family, yeah? And I'm talking from a political and voting point of view.
Yeah.
They are the minority vote. But nevertheless, that case also has serious implications on whether we are a nation which observes the rule of law or not. To me, that is another example of the breakdown of law, of living by the law or implementing the law, the rule of law in this country, because there was a court decision in that case, and the child has not been delivered to her mother until today. The mother, I do not know if she sued the government.
I mean, just to this one, sorry. Basically, the abduction was carried out by the father who converted to Islam.
Well,
Right?
I do not know if it was an abduction. That's a debatable point.
Okay.
But subsequent to the child and the father not being, they were not were able to detect where they are. And subsequent to that, the court has ordered that they be produced, that the police do their best to produce the child and return her back to her mother.
Yes.
That has not been done yet. So I do not know the details of the case, if the mother of Indra Gandhi took an action against the government similar to what the wife of Pastor Koh and Amri Che Mat have done, where they sued the government and also obtained compensation, the amounts of money that has been awarded now, 40 million and 10,000 ringgit per day. If a similar case had been taken against the government in the case of Indira Gandhi, and the court had made a similar decision, awarded the mother money damages on a per day basis, perhaps the case could have taken a different course. I do not know. But you are right in the sense that was another breakdown in the system of the country, where there is a court order to produce a child, and which has not been acted upon until today. Somebody has to be held
Accountable.
Someone has to answer for that. And if they cannot answer, they have to bear the consequence. There must be some consequences.
I wonder to a certain extent, it's like, do we have a rogue deep state operating within the system? You know? I mean, as what the Americans would call it.
I think in every government at any time in anywhere in the world, no matter how democratic they are or how transparent they are, there will be people in power who may decide, to do things their own way or to break the law. Basically, you cannot 100% foolproof your system against this kind of errant or aberration in the behavior. It happened. But the important thing now is this thing is behind us. Going forward, we have to bring the case to a close. So there's still some work to be done. As the Minister of Home Affairs, Saifuddin Nasution, has said, he will implement what the High Court has decided. As I said, the High Court decision was on the 5th of November, I think. So more than a week has gone by, and the court, in their decision, has also instructed the government, the police, to keep the file open, to reopen the investigation, to keep the investigation moving forward. And the court has ordered that the police report to the Attorney General's chambers on the progress of their investigation every 60 days. 60 days. If the government is liable for 10,000 ringgit a day times 60, is that 600,000 ringgit? So every 60 days, by the time the police makes a first report to the Attorney General's chambers, that's another 600,000 ringgit of public funds. I don't know, will they be able to solve the case in 60 days? And then the next report is another 60 days down the road, that's another 600,000 ringgit, 1.2 million ringgit over 120 days. So they have to expedite it. Otherwise, the damages are going to keep piling up, and it is taxpayers' funds. It's going to become a major embarrassment for the government if this thing keeps going on, unresolved.
I think I think the family the family need the return or at the very minimum a closure. And that goes all along as well as far as us as a society. We cannot have a mark this dark in our history. This is not the society we grew up with. This is not the society we want to live in. And I think that our government must represent the morality and the rule of law that we have created for our people. I think that is the message that that this whole case need to be resolved in one way or another.
Yeah, it has to. It has to. That's what I feel too. That the decision by the High Court puts us back on the right track. This is not a simple case of family domestic conflict. The father ran away with the child or some divorce and this and that. This is a major crime, and which was where people closed their eyes and turned the other way for so many years. And finally, it's coming to a closure. I have to say something else, about this thing. This was an abduction. It happened. Amri Che Mat was 9 years ago, and Pastor Koh is now 8 years. Well, they happened within a few months of each other. I was a bit. I was not too happy to hear the retort by the Attorney General when the High Court made their decision. The Attorney General has absolute right under the law to appeal any decision that goes against them. Suppose if they lose a case, they have the absolute right to appeal the case. That is a law. We all know that. I mean, it's obvious.
Yeah.
No need to say it.
Yeah.
But the fact is, the Attorney General did make a public statement that the High Court had erred, in making this decision over this case of Pastor Koh and Amri Che Mat, which I thought was not really necessary. If the AG wanted to appeal the case, it is his right. Just go ahead and appeal the case. But when he made a statement in public, I thought it was sort of adversarial, like unfriendly. Because we must understand, this is a case where husbands and fathers have disappeared. We surely have to sympathize with them and their families. Their families are now the victims. The first victims were the Pastor Koh and Amri Che Mat themselves, and now the victims are the families too. They have lost their fathers and husbands. Surely we can sympathize with them. You can argue that should the government apologize to the families? Well, apologies carry legal implications. So people always, the Japanese never apologized to China or Korea for invading them in the Second World War because they can carry legal liabilities. But in this case, the court has already ruled.
Yeah.
And the government has to pay 40 million.
Yeah.
And at 10,000 ringgit a day, the government, the High Court has already made the decision. It's the horse has
the horse has run out of the barn.
Of the barn, it's too late, you see. Okay, at least, maybe perhaps the government and its officers can be more sympathetic towards the family, because surely they have lost husbands and fathers. This is a very terrible thing that has happened to them. Nobody wants to suffer this kind of event in their life ever. So I hope that all the parties who are concerned will be more sympathetic when they deal with this case.
If you were to ask me, I would go even one step further. I think the families owe an apology, regardless of whoever is, because at the end of the day, right?
The families are owed an apology.
Right? Because we've got, as you rightly put, 5 governments ago that this happened, right? You take the reins of government, which means that you take the reins of the bureaucracy, the civil service, which includes our military and armed forces and police forces, okay, that are supposed to protect the Constitution and protect the rule of law.
And protect us.
And protect us.
The people.
Right? It goes to a certain extent also, to stop from, if anything, the use of the state instruments. Like, if we have this culture to a certain extent. You don't like what somebody is saying, you make a police report, police knock on your door, and basically it's a form of harassment and to actually make you scared of speaking out. So we cannot have this in a democracy.
We have to fix that through the ballot box. We are a democracy. We have to fix that through how we vote. Vote them out. If they keep doing this, just don't vote for them. That's it. We are a democracy. We go to the elections. That's when we get to express our likes and dislikes. I agree with what you're saying. We don't need this. We absolutely do not need this kind of behavior. We are a modern society. This is the 21st century. We're not living in the dark ages. We're not living in the stone age. So we don't need this kind of caveman behavior. We don't need this. And if they don't change, we have to kick them out. That's it. We can't do anything else. We are a democracy. We go to the polls. We vote. We don't vote for them, and then we affect change in the country. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. You cannot sit down and talk to some of these people and say, allow me to talk some sense into you. It
doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Just vote them out. That's the only way it's going to change.
I think sometimes this incident, the Indra Gandhi incident, upsets me so much as a citizen and as a voter and as a taxpayer. It's about us, the people. The people must come first. The politics, I don't give a shit. You realize something, say on this podcast, we don't really talk about the political machinations. We don't talk about political chessboards. We don't talk about politics, names and whatnot. We don't care. We talk about policies. We want to see good policies being made. We want to see the country become better, And this incident, I think, needs, I repeat it again, the word is, it needs closure one way or another. And it's incumbent upon the government of the day to provide that closure. And in that sense, I want to say this. You need to apologize on behalf of the governing body that this has happened to the people of one of our people. What else do you want us to do? You can't be quiet about it. You are leading government. This has happened to us, the people.
Okay, this thing is it's not over yet. This episode is not over yet. My view is the larger portion, the closure of this case is yet to begin, because this is like the beginning of the end. And the end, I think, I'm quite convinced, the end is going to be quite epic. It's going to be quite explosive, because you see, the court has ordered the minister, the government, to deliver Pastor Koh to his family at the cost of 10,000 ringgit a day compensation the government must pay to the family if they do not deliver him. So, is it going to take years? Is it going to take months? That's going to build up millions and millions of ringgit. So for the government of the day, today, which has inherited this problem from a government of the 5 governments ago.
Yep.
It is not their doing. They cannot be held responsible for it. They have absolutely nothing to do with it. But they have inherited the problem, and now there's a clock running, and there's a compensation money, like a taxi meter is running at 10,000 ringgit a day. So the longer this case is not resolved, then the burden builds up on today's government, this government, because
absolutely,
it's too bad for them. They inherited this legacy, as the minister Saifuddin said, this is a legacy issue. Unfortunately, it is hoisted upon their shoulders. But if it is not resolved, then the burden does build up on the present government. So they have to resolve this. Huh? So it's running at 10,000 ringgit compensation a day. To me, the bigger, the real blow up will happen after they are delivered. Let's say Pastor Koh is found and delivered to his family. Yeah? It's okay. He's been missing now for 8 years. Huh? Let's be logical about this. He may be found alive, which I do not know, or he may be found not alive. Huh? If he is found alive, huge questions need to be answered. Where has he been kept alive all these years? Through 5 governments. Huh? But if he is found not alive, it becomes a completely new ball game. He was abducted. That's what the court has ruled. Abduction is foul play.
Yeah.
Foul play which have caused to him losing his life if he's not alive anymore. So that really changes the entire the color and the scheme of the whole thing, and you have to treat this as a criminal investigation and go after the people who are involved behind this. No matter where it leads, it must be resolved. That will be a bigger explosion because it could go back to a lot of avenues and alleys and whatnot, which is going to create a lot of embarrassment for people from our past. As we said, this is 5 governments ago. It's going to create a lot of embarrassment, and there could be spillover effects. So to me, the biggest part, the most explosive part of this whole episode is yet to happen. If Pastor Koh and Amri Che Mat are not delivered to their families, the issue of the court award is piling up at 10,000 ringgit a day. That will become a huge political embarrassment too. So it has to be resolved. If they are found, more questions will come up. People must be held liable. So that is going to be very explosive. So we are just entering, we are not seeing the end of it. There's going to be a completely new chapter to this entire episode before it can be closed.
Don't you think then, if you look at this, I think you brought a very good point that has now, occurred in my mind, that if the court, explicitly says that the government is liable, right? I'm not wrong there, right? The court explicitly says that the government is liable.
The word liable was used here.
Yeah, right? And there was actually an abduction. 2 cases of abduction, Pastor Koh and Amri Che Mat, right? Wouldn't that be an explicit or an implicit, depending on how one wants to look at it, that a criminal investigation need to be open instead of talking about appealing the conscience of a good government, of good governance, is to say the court has made a decision. We need to abide by this decision, and actually we thank the court to show us the way and open a criminal investigation into these abductions and get to the bottom of it now.
In an ideal world. I agree with what you're saying. I agree.
That would actually be what you would want people who's going to vote for you to say, this government is doing what is right. We need that urgency. We really need that urgency to handle this matter quickly and to bring it to a conclusion. Like many other issues in this country, and which we have talked about in our podcast, the interests of the man on the street, the family in this case, seems to be like at the bottom of the line, at the very end of the line, the victim and the family now, the victim's family, they are of utmost priority now. They are right. As you said earlier, they need closure. Yeah.
The father, husband has been missing for 8 years and 9 years. The families need closure so that they can move on with their lives. There are legal implications. If a person has disappeared, has gone missing, under the law, it is not explicitly written down, but usually under the law in most countries, if a person is missing for more than 7 years, 7 years, 8 years, then the family or the heirs, the family, they can petition the court to declare such a person as gone. He's not going to come back again. And then from there, they can move on to other things, legal issues they may have, family issues. You see, these are important. So you need closure. But without closure, without knowing where are they, where are they alive, are they not alive, what happened to them, then the families themselves cannot move on with their lives. So doesn't anyone care? Doesn't the government care? Doesn't the law care for this, the plight of the families? This is the most important. Now we hear people talking about, what should be done, how to handle this and things like that. That is your side of the story. But look at it from the families, the victim's side of the story, which is what is missing. That's what I see. As I said earlier, there's no sympathy. You ask about the apology, and apology will be good. Apology would be good because the court has already ruled. There is a court ruling, clear cut. Pay 40 million. You are liable.
Yeah.
And so on. You see, so that is clear cut. A bit late in the day, whether you want to apologize or don't want to apologize.
Yeah.
The court ruling is already there.
Yeah.
But that sympathy is missing. We have to sympathize with the family. The court also said, the court has also said it very clearly that the government is liable. That's a big statement.
Syed, here's the thing that bothers me a lot whilst we are talking, right? I mean, of course, the bread and butter situation in any society tends to go up. Number one, most of the time, that is assuming that you are safe to go and make a living, right? But if you get a situation where people in power can abuse the power and make you not safe, this is what it's excuse me, this is what the bottom line seems to be for me when I look at this situation, is that you are not safe as an individual. All right, if you cross a certain line and the law is not there to protect you at that point when you actually need to just go on with your life. I mean,
at the end of the day, we are really on our own.
That's not how governance should work.
Yeah, we are really,
that's not how we. So, I mean, if we can't expect safety from the government and from the instruments of government like police, military, to actually protect us citizens.
Keep changing the government. You see, before, there was a lot of hue and cry over the Internal Security Act.
Right.
I was one of those people who was against abolishing the Internal Security Act. I always thought, and I still feel that it was a law that we absolutely needed in this country. They went ahead and abolished it anyway, and there were repercussions from that. But did it help us? Because these abductions happened after the Internal Security Act was abolished. So you see, if people want to go rogue, or if the system is going to break down, they don't need repressive laws or oppressive laws to do whatever they want to do. Whether there is an Internal Security Act or not, if these people decide to go rogue and do something bad, they will do it. So what are the checks and balances that we have? The checks and balances that we have is whether we as a society will tolerate this or not. This is where our tolerance, our has to be really. We have to be intolerant of this kind of behavior.
Exactly.
We have to kick up a fuss because those in power, at least those in power 5 governments ago, did not kick up any fuss. They didn't care too much about this. That's why we had to go through this. The family had to go through the whole exercise of going to the court, taking so many years. That report by the Special Task Force which came out in 2020, if I'm not mistaken, was classified as a classified document.
Official secret.
Top secret. The family, the family of the victims were not given access to that report. They had to go to court to get the court to release that report to them, which happened in August 2024. 5 years, 6 years after 5 years after these abductions happened. Why did they have to go to the court to get a report which basically talks about their father, their husband? I can't understand this. So where is the morality in the system that you spend taxpayers' money, right, to get the report done, to get the task force, you convene the task force, they all paid salaries by taxpayers' money. It involves citizens of the country. The report came out and you classified it as a secret.
It should be public, right?
So you see, there's a huge, to me, there's a morality gap. There's no morality here. There's no ethics. This is not law. Of course, it's all done lawfully, but law is different. Ethics are different. Certain things may be lawful, but they may not be very ethical. It may not be the best thing. This is one of those examples. Lawfully, yes, they can classify it as a secret. They can. It's by the law. It gives them the option. But was that a really good thing to do? It was not. So this is what we need to change, and this has to come from us. This is, you ask who is responsible for this, to effect this change. It is us, not the government, not those people in power, not the politicians. No, they are different.
We have to force them to act.
We have to force them. If we don't do something, if I may use a simple language, they will stand on our shoulders and do something on our heads.
Yeah.
That's what they will do.
Yeah.
So we have to take action.
Syed, on that point, actually, I mean, if you were the Home Minister, let's put it this way. If you have the powers of the Home Minister, what would you do
to
resolve this situation? Yes.
Well, let's go back to, I mean, we have to obey the law. The court has made a decision. And what did the court say? The court said that, the High Court judge, in his decision, he said that the abductions were found to involve one or more still serving, or former police officers acting in an organized unit or state capacity. This is as reported in Channel News Asia. I did some research on this. So, meaning that those people who were involved in this abduction, they're all still around. I think they're all still alive, and some of them are still serving in the police force. Meaning that the people who knew what happened to Pastor Koh and Amri Che Mat, they're still around. Some of them are still serving officers. So how long would it take to call them up and ask them, hey, what happened? You see. So if you ask me the question, what would I do or what the minister should do, I think you can resolve this case within a week, because the people, according to the court, not according to me, according to the justice, Dato' Su Tiang Ju, they are still, among them are still serving police officers. Just call them up. Ask them what happened, what you were involved in this, what went on, and from there backtrack and bring this thing to a closure. Locate where are Pastor Koh and Amri Che Mat. I think they can resolve this issue in very double quick time. You don't have to wait 60 days, 2 months, because the judge has told the police to investigate and report to the Attorney General every 60 days. I don't think you need 60 days.
No.
I mean, if they're serving police officers, you know exactly where they are. Ask them.
Yeah. I mean, we can find kidnapped children or abducted children on the street, and every media outlet will come out, with the photos of them and I don't think. So you are right.
I don't think you need 60 days to resolve this issue at 10,000 ringgit of taxpayers' money a day. I don't think so. 600,000 ringgit every 60 days. When you can resolve, when the people who are involved, according to the judge, Dato' Su Tiangju, they are still serving in the police. I didn't say this, the judge said that. So just ask them and resolve the issue. That's what I would do. So I hope the Minister of Home Affairs, Saifuddin Nasution, he will take heart, and ponder this carefully, because you have to resolve this ASAP. The longer it drags, the larger will be the negative consequences. Okay, look, bottom line, this thing, it has happened, all right. Crap has happened, it has gone down. You can't change it. What is done is done. Let's try to minimize the damage going forward. The sooner you resolve this, the faster you get over it, bring a closure to things and move forward. The longer you don't resolve this, the greater will be the cost. The bigger will be the embarrassment. The bigger will be the cost at the polls, at the votes. The bigger will be the liability borne by the government. And remember, this happened 5 governments ago. It's not the fault of the present government. But how soon and how well they resolve this issue will determine whether the present government is held liable or not.
Yes.
That's the issue now. That's the issue. This is not the problem of the present government. This is a legacy. As Saifuddin Nasution said, this is a legacy issue. They inherited from 5 governments ago. They should resolve it ASAP. There's nothing for them to lose. There's nothing to...
whilst it's a legacy issue, the court judgment is now on your table.
It's today.
It's now your responsibility.
Yeah, that's right.
It is now your accountability to ensure that the closure happens. Right? So if you were to ask voters, to me, this is the number one issue for the voters of all the other issue. I don't care about taxation. I don't care about RON 95. Why? I call this the number one issue. Is because if the government of the day or anyone who wants to hold government power cannot protect its citizen and make it right, they have no business being in government.
If the people do not feel safe,
how are you going to make a living?
Yeah, there will be consequences for any government of the day.
Yes.
If your people do not feel safe, they have to look over their shoulder or they're worried, then in a democracy, that is not good news for any government.
Yeah. Don't even talk about how you're going to do. If you run afoul for whatever reason.
You cannot say that I can't make you feel safe and secure, but I want you to vote for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way.
Oh, you've really gotten me riled up, my friend.
But people should think about it.
Yeah.
And we are a democracy. We are a civilized society. We have rule of law. Most importantly, we have values. We are, moderate people. We are not into this fanatic behavior, extremist behavior. That is, as you said, that is for the banana republics.
Yeah.
We are not a banana republic. We are civilized people.
Yeah.
So if some people are not civilized or they do not know how to behave civilized, they should be taken out of the equation. We don't need them.
Yeah.
We absolutely don't need them.
We don't need to...
we don't need them.
Yeah. I think this is probably one of our shorter conversation, because we are just focusing on this subject matter. And I think we've probably dissected as much as we can. Do you have any other last words you want to add to this?
Again, our sympathies go out to the families of Pastor Koh, Amri Che Mat. And although we did not mention it, there are a few other people who have also gone or disappeared. The NGOs and the human rights organizations have flagged their names. One is Joshua Helmi, Pastor Joshua Helmi, and his wife, Ruth Sitepu. And I think there was one other person, but I do not know the name. So these were the abductions that happened all about that time. I hope this is the last of it, that these things will never happen again in this country, will never ever happen again. And most importantly, the families need closure. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. I would like to urge our audience. I think myself and Syed, we love our conversations on this on our issues domestically in Malaysia. We are gonna make this a weekly occurrence, and discuss further policy matters and issues that concern our people. So I hope that you can come and join us, subscribe, like, so that you don't miss any of our conversations, either on this subject or on any other subjects that we think at the Gut Shot podcast is would impact our lives. So thank you so much for joining us. Thank you again, Syed, for coming on.
Thank you.
Appreciate it very much. Thanks.
Thank you.
See you again.